Hey, everybody. Good evening. Let's see who's in chat before we start. We got Paul Robinson. Len's in the chat too. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a good weekend. Did we have a good weekend for the most part? We got dogs barking at each other. Jane Marie's here. Hope you guys had a safe and fun Independence Day. Are they fighting? Of course, we started the live, so they got to start acting like monsters. Hey, Hacks for the Homestead's here. Oh goodness, where do you want to start?
Well, that job I told you guys that I was going to tell you about today, I still don't know. So I'm having flashbacks. We'll see what happens. Patience is the key.
Kansas Heat. Kansas. Actually, it may have moved on, but its second round is coming through right now. It's rather hot the past couple of days. Half bubble off plum. How you doing? The thing Friday night starts at 6.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to ask for a little bit of time off or.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. We have
Nothing ever starts on time. So.
We have a community elder member that is having a birthday party, and so we're probably going to go over there and take part in it. Yeah, it's good to see him. He's a good guy. Oh goodness! So we spent. Let's see. Paul says 5 days we had up here. Yeah, you're going to get some more. You're probably going to get some really bad storms between now and the time this heat wave makes it through. It's percolating a lot of stuff up north of us. But we had people come over on Saturday, and it was a nice relaxing day. Ate entirely too much. I don't know about you, but I ate entirely too much. And Angela cooked on the grill, and we had beans and franks and some of the best brats we've had in a long time.
Yeah, because they're homemade recipe.
So where'd you get them?
Hy-Vee. No, Dylan's. No, Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee and Dylan's still homemade.
Who had that? It was Hy-Vee. Whoever had that 99-cent sale.
Farmland Forge, how you doing?
Yeah, they make their own recipe and put it in
there. We figured out the telltale sign of a really good brat is when you get a good crunch on the because the casing's just good quality casing, and that's what these are.
That's what we have.
And then she made some burgers, and I bit into the burger, and I was like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I kind of worked it in the conversation. Turns out they were turkey burgers. They weren't real burgers. They weren't hamburgers, beef burgers. They were turkey burgers.
They were still burgers, but they were turkey burgers.
Hey, Randy.
We have people that come over that join us in eating that do not eat pork, and I don't feel like I should force them to eat pork.
Hamburgers, not pork.
Nothing wrong with it. I don't eat beef. I can't eat anything not farm raised, and I don't have any ground beef.
Oh.
And I don't have any ground lamb.
Because it's too damn hot.
I told him, like, butcher a sheep and grind it all.
We need to butcher a sheep, but it's just entirely too hot right now. And
but then lamb's not really a hamburger either.
Yeah, but it's red meat. It's not poultry.
Not technically.
It's not poultry. Oh, I didn't say they didn't taste good. What I said was that they did not taste.
He wanted me to fill them full of chemical to make them taste like beef.
In context of what I thought they were, they did not taste right. They were delicious, but they didn't taste right. They did not taste like hamburgers.
Well, next time I'll just put a bunch of poison in it for you. Now it'll be yours.
Look, I don't want to hear you eat processed foods and fast food all the time.
If I do, it's like stuff like kava, which is all healthy. But if you guys have ever eaten at kava, you can get your choice of lamb, chicken, beef, and then they have this avocado bowl that's amazing.
I'm not a big fan of fast food restaurants anymore, but I will admit, given a choice, kava is where I would definitely multitudes better than Chipotle. And she loves Chipotle, and she used to.
I used to eat Chipotle all the time, not anymore. Now I went to keto, but I found out I get there's less chance of getting salmonella and that kind of crud if you eat a Qdoba over Chipotle.
Gee, I wonder why. Oh, Dana's in here saying hi to everybody.
Hi.
Oh, goodness. So, if you guys listen very well, they're not doing it right
They're
now.
quiet now.
We
I
had
just disturbed everybody, so now they're all.
we had more chicks born. They're still hatching. I pulled
They
one out.
started hatching 4th of July night because I'm noticing the difference in sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So they started hatching 4th of July night, and I thought I heard cheeping 4th of July, but I was like, no. I was still thinking the other chickens were in here. I don't even know why. And well, because I was cooking and all that for a few days, and I didn't realize. But anyway, so then the chirping I was hearing was actually in the incubator and not in the brooder.
Mm-hmm.
And so we woke up to 8. We had 8 chickens, and then had something horrible happen to those.
Yes,
And
I don't want to talk about it.
After that happened, we've been blessed with more.
We did lose one today.
Oh,
but it had a distended tummy. We didn't know about it. Yeah, it did not make it. It looked healthy, but just
bummer. That happens.
Yeah.
But
Dana wants to know if there was any diced peppers, tomatoes, mushrooms, etc. Did it have onions and all that stuff?
The brats?
No, the turkey burgers.
The turkey burgers?
That sounds like house burger. That's why my mom used to make it. She put all kinds of stuff in the burger.
And there's all kinds of stuff in there, but I didn't put like the onion or anything like that because everybody has different tastes. And like it had garlic. I used garlic, pepper, Italian seasoning, egg, and then I used breadcrumbs to keep it together. And
Len, that may be my fault.
What?
He said we were just interrupted by ads. I will make sure next time to make sure that stuff's turned off.
I don't know if you can.
No, I think they changed it and I was messing around with it and I think I accidentally turned it on live.
And then
I apologize.
But we anyway, we it was fun. So that's what I put in there. And then I sliced tomatoes and onion and lettuce and all that stuff. So
and we're eating left. Did you use all the burgers? I haven't seen it. I've eaten brats, but
they're probably in there. You just gotta search for them.
Okay. Can't go
wrong.
There
were
wrong
only
with garlic.
2 or 3 left.
No, there were. Oh goodness. So I had a fun day at work today. I got to talk about this. I don't like talking about work, but I just got to mention this. Listen, guys. If you ask for something, make sure you're asking for what you want. Don't ask for something and then get upset whenever you get what you asked for. Right? So I had somebody today ask me to get them a quote for something, so I got them a quote for something, sent them the quote, they ordered it, and it didn't have everything that they wanted. They didn't ask for everything that they wanted. They asked for the quote for the specific thing. And I've learned with people, especially this person, that you give them exactly what they asked for because they will complain about it if you go asking them all kinds of extra questions. So, yeah. And then here, she's looking at me funny because I asked for things and she can't find them, so she substitutes them. And I pitch a fit about it because it's not what I asked for. If you ask somebody to get you something and they bring you something that you don't want, it's perfectly fine to say something about it. Yes, that's absolutely true. What?
Give it yourself.
Well, and I do. Whenever you don't get me what I want, I get it myself.
You should just get it yourself in the first
I shouldn't
place.
have to.
You should answer your phone. Whenever they don't have what he wants, I call him. He doesn't answer his phone.
But we've been married for how long?
And you've never answered your phone.
Yeah,
so you get what you get.
We've been married for how long? And
whatever. It's all my fault.
What's the answer
Whatever.
every single time? No, but seriously. And then this person did not get what they wanted. So instead of calling me and saying, "Hey, this I need this, and this," she called my boss, and my boss spent 2 hours dealing with this Hadrian and so he's relaying what she's saying to me because I'm the one with all the information, and I'm the one that ended up ordering everything that she wanted in the end today. Why can't people just be freaking? They don't have to be Karens. Seriously, you don't have to be Karens. What? What?
Nothing.
Oh, are you looking at me?
I'm just listening to you complain.
I'm not complaining
about people complaining.
I'm not complaining about people complaining. I'm complaining about people not detailing what they want. If you want something, ask for what you want.
See, I asked for what I want, and I'm detailed in what I want, and I'm told I'm not going to get it.
Well, that's different.
Because it's you telling me.
If you were paying for it out of your budget, your departmental budget. Are you
kidding me?
If you were paying for it out of your
household income is my departmental budget.
Oh, okay. Some people just have to spread. Have both. The person in discussion here, the person that I'm. Yes.
Is this the plug-in girl?
No, this is somebody else. That's somebody else. Yeah, this. Yes, that is a 100% true statement. Let's just leave it like that. Luckily, nobody from work watches this, so if they do, I would have got fired a long time ago. But it's been hot. The grass. I came home and mowed this afternoon, and as I'm mowing, I'm stopping and raking it up. I just got the backyard and part of the back by the coop done, and I ended up with 6 gorilla carts full of cut grass for the sheep. They're still starving. They still didn't get enough to eat. Of course, they're always complaining. But I'm going to end up spending 4 days mowing this week.
Randy's having problems with it too, with the channel. That's weird.
Okay, that's not me. I didn't have anything to do with that. Let's see here. Turn the management over to Angela. I did a couple years ago. Everything is fine. I have more time to nap. Well, you heard her last week on the live. I'm not allowed to nap while she's working. So that's a non-starter. Hello, not sure if we got everything done today or just quit, but here we go. Did it get a little hot up there, Gregory? I know down here it was a little bit miserable. I did have a very good interaction with somebody yesterday that ended up being very fortunate for us. Sold a pygmy goat, sold them for $60 with a $5 delivery fee. They live nearby. They've got a really cool house, by the way. Their house, you would not know that their house is there, and you go up their drive, and it's really nice. Seriously, it's super nice. But little guy, it was a pygmy goat. Little guy's got a 100 by 200 foot enclosure with a 5.5 foot fence around it with hot wire on top of it to keep predators out. Mm-hmm. And he's got chickens. And the guy that I sold him to is working on a electrical project out here, and he managed to get me 4 used telephone poles. So they're sitting out in front of the house out by the road. He's working on more, right? Well, I'm gonna call him, or I'm gonna text him, let him know I could probably use one more because I need some poles for a project that I want to do.
Yeah, see if you can get the ones that Darren needs too.
But well, this is true. I should. Hey, Haxer, if you're still in here, how many telephone poles you need? But yeah. So I was mentioning, they were taking these poles out and taking them up to the little town near us, and they were cutting them up and using them to build a fence. It was driving me nuts. And he was like, "I can get you poles. We got to drop them someplace." And so they were actually working down in our neck of the woods today, and lo and behold, ended up with 4 poles out in front of the house. Went out and started measuring them before I started mowing, and like I said, I think I'm 1 15-foot good length of pole shy. So I'm gonna let him know maybe one more. But yeah, it was really nice. It was very fortunate, and I'm giving I'm giving him another goat, a companion for a little bit.
Did he say he wanted him?
I told him I'd give it to him.
But did he say he wanted them?
He said he'd think about it.
Right. He hasn't said he wanted them.
But I told him, I said, decide if you want a male or female companion for a little bit and let me know. Oh, Bobby's in the house. Stop talking about him. I'm not sure what REA is there, Gregory. Yeah, they're electrical poles.
Bobby, sorry I missed lunch with you guys yesterday, but my schedule is hectic, and I'm probably not going to have that fixed for, well, I was hoping it would be 30 days from yesterday, but we'll see, probably about 6 weeks out. I'm trying to get somebody trained up, and it's just, I have to be flexible, and I don't have a lot of time here and there, so, but, so sorry.
She had some people show up across the street from work.
I don't really go to my favorite restaurant even. So it's like, well, maybe next month or the month after. We'll see. But,
just keep praying.
And you should have heard me. I was just complaining the whole time. The girl that I was training with, they're over there eating and I'm missing it. And they're over at my favorite restaurant and I'm missing it. And she's like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, but you don't understand. It's kind of whiny. Gosh.
Oh, State Farm. Put a one in the chat if you are not a fan of State Farm insurance. I put a great big one. I got a call from the insurance agency today. He wants to discuss the letter that they sent.
Well, I'm sure he does, and I'm sure he wants to cancel us.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it has to do with more than just the house.
Oh yeah. Okay, Rural Electric Association. I guess they're just standard or electrical poles. Some of them are a little rough for wear. I mean the part that was in the ground, they've been in the ground a long time, and there's one of them that actually eaten up by woodpeckers. There's a lot of ones popping into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as we get things settled, we're moving.
Okay, I will see what I can do. I will see what I can do for you there, Hax.
How many did he say?
He said as many as he can get if they're free.
Okay, yeah. Well, they're not free because somebody keeps giving them stuff.
They're getting one goat. We need to get rid of the.
Well, I mean,
we're
but then he starts bringing more, and then Garen feels guilty. And then
no, I don't feel
like,
guilty.
well,
If the Hacks want to tell him thank you, then they can tell him thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll show my appreciation. He did me a solid.
Oh, you need to get a hold of Patrick Henry because I think I asked him for the date, but I don't know that he ever sent me the date. He was more worried about lunch yesterday.
What date?
Yesterday was his birthday. If you're watching, Patrick Henry, happy birthday to you.
Oh, Patrick Henry from
Midwest Preparedness.
From Midwest Preparedness. It's his birthday.
And what was I saying?
You can still hate him.
So
Dana.
he had the this Midwest Preparedness this month. I think if I understood it correctly, this month they want us to step in and do a combo canning class and then your book presentation. But I don't know what day it is. You just need to talk to him.
I don't have any weekends free between now and August.
Because the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talk to him and let him know.
That was the other thing that I spent time this week finally making movement on the second bedroom. I told you I got underneath the house and braced everything up. Well, I got the room cleaned out and got the wall for the closet roughed in. Got the closet doors ordered. Got the flooring, should be here tomorrow.
Nice.
I've got to get drywall.
You gonna do that tomorrow?
No, I'm gonna have to do.
It's supposed to rain Thursday.
It's supposed to rain Thursday and Friday. It's supposed to dry out Saturday and Sunday.
So you're gonna go get drywall Saturday
Or Sunday. I got to get the electrical done this week.
Oh, electrical has to be done before you can put the drywall in. I forgot.
I mean, I can put some of the drywall in, but I gotta run electrical.
Yeah, I can't help. I mean, I would offer to help you, but I cannot help you. I can't. I don't know where I would park that trailer downtown. Like pick it up on my way back.
No, I have to. I'm gonna go down and get with the truck.
Okay.
get it with the truck because I got to order it online with the military discount.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Home Depot's got a military discount, which is 5%. But for some reason, I can get it if I go online. But if I go into the store, I quote unquote haven't registered with them. So I don't know what the deal is. So I just order it online and go pick it up. Okay, there you go. Dana's been turned. Boo State Farm. Let's see. I don't have either. I don't have State Farm either. I have Farm Family out of Springfield. Yeah, that's what you're saying. My agent told me a year ago that the insurance was going to become very difficult.
So it is. And so what they did is they came out and they did an inspection. They went around the house. Very clearly, you can tell that we are working on the property and we are doing construction. And you know this because there's scrap lumber, because there's unfinished projects, because there's, XYZ. I mean, it's just very clear we are working on the property. And we got a letter that they want all of it corrected now. There is no way. I'm not hiring contractors to come in here and rip me off.
We can't hire contractors because we don't have the money.
And then to do what? To make State Farm happy? It's not happening.
Well, a lot of the, like in California, a lot of companies are pulling out. They pulled out of Florida because the hurricanes and stuff. These insurance companies, the very good argument for being independently wealthy so you can self-insure, because the insurance companies are heartless bastards. Pardon my language.
Well, I just want to get to the point where we got enough that we're doing and then just start investing in ourselves, and just if there's a repair that something happens, the roof leaks, we can just pay for a new roof.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to get, and we should be there by the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna call him back tomorrow, so we're gonna find out if we've got homeowners insurance.
Is it Kyle?
No, it's Garrison.
Oh, we're probably canceled.
Yeah.
Which we kind of knew. I told you.
Yeah. Because of the settlement on the vehicle. Yeah, it's not like we haven't been working on it. It's one small bite at a time.
Right.
You can't eat an elephant all at once.
Right. And you're only one person.
Yeah. Look at that look on that cat. The cat was just trying to crawl up on the table when I pushed her down. And now she's just giving me the evil eyes.
Mm-hmm.
She's just totally. I have had a terrible time with cats this week. So I wake up Sunday morning, and there obviously was some animal in the house Saturday night.
Sunday. Well, yeah, Saturday night.
It was Saturday night.
But it was actually Sunday morning.
There was some sort of animal in here. So I go in and wake her up. I'm like, what the hell was going on last night after I went to bed? Because
He was angry about it.
I wasn't angry.
He came up very abrupt, and he woke me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to find out what it was.
Try 7:30.
Whatever. It felt like 5 because Skans didn't leave until almost 2.
Well, that's not you guys staying up late. It's not my fault.
Oh, it was over that stupid cat.
Some little kitten, one of the neighbor's cats came over and decided it wanted to take up residence at our house. And
demanding taking up residence at our house.
Hey, let me see if I can get Thursday off there, Hacks, and if I can, we'll do it. It's supposed to be rainy, so can't work outside.
What's that?
He said he can do electrical on Thursday.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the day off. Let me see if I can get it off. If I can, I'll let you know tomorrow. That's awesome.
Yeah, sweet.
That's very awesome.
Sweet cheese.
What was that? Oh, anyway, so this cat, it disappeared. It wasn't around. It came back Sunday night, and I walked it back down to their place, and the dang thing followed me all the way home. It's what, an eighth of a mile down there. And at one point I had 4 cats follow on me home.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I took this cat and I'm like throwing it in the yard. I kicked it. I was like, go away. And it followed me home. So anyway, put it in a carrier. She brought the carrier inside, and I was like, no. So I took it outside and I dumped it back outside. I was very upset. This I don't need any more animals, especially one like this. So the next morning, it's still there. So I stuck it in a carrier. I'm like, I will drop it off at the neighbor's house when I'm going to work. And she's like, "Oh, that's terrible. You're going to throw it out of the moving truck." And I was like, "No, I'm not going to."
I didn't know he was going. He said throw it out the window is what he said.
I was like, "No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop and let the cat out." And that I had the full intentions of doing that. So anyway, I get it. I put it in the carrier yesterday morning. I'm going down to their house. I'm slowing down, and I reach in and I grab the cat. And I'm still moving, and this cat decides to go nuts and starts attacking me and scratching me. And so I was going slow. It's not like I was doing 30 miles an hour and I overhanded it out the window.
You're gonna have PETA at our door.
I did throw it out the window though. I was.
You told me you didn't throw it out. You just went.
I dropped it. I stuck my hand out and I dropped it, and it hit the grass and ran off.
Cats know how to land on all fours.
Yeah.
Well, and then I drove by tonight, and all of the kittens are out playing in the road, climbing trees and everything else.
Was it out there?
It was.
Okay,
it was
good.
climbing the tree, and so I saw it, and as I was driving by, it looked at me.
Oh no!
And I was like, "Please don't follow me! Please don't follow me! Please don't follow me!" So like, I don't know. But Karen's ready to go. You know, the neighbors who we've been really nice to, and they've been really nice to us and all of that. We don't want it to end over the fact that they can't spay and neuter their animals.
Yeah, absolutely. And the bad thing is, it was a cute kitten. Seriously,
It's so cute. If it wasn't feral, it'd be even cuter.
Well, and it's young enough. You could fix that. You could fix that. But yeah, I don't need any more intrusive cats.
The only way you fixed that one was because it had a lot of energy. The only way you could fix that one was declaw, and which we wouldn't want to do.
PK and Freedom used to be the exact same way.
No.
In fact, PK is still like that.
I don't remember her being that bad, but
she's got mama issues, and every time she crawls up on you, she starts making the damn biscuits.
But that's not feral, that behavior.
Well, and they're outdoor. It's an outdoor cat, even though it walked in the house Monday morning too.
It was like, yeah, it was hanging from the screen, trying to figure out how to get through the screen, and then if you open the door, it was trying to follow you in. He had kicked it out of the house twice, and then oh my gosh, it was just a nightmare. But yeah, that's when you called Skeens this morning. Skeens thought you were calling to yell at her about the kitten.
No. No, Skeens. There was a package. I say package. It was a shipment. The shipment was dropped off at our house accidentally. It was supposed to be dropped off someplace else, and she needed to come get it. She got half of it.
She got half of it.
Yeah, that one box is too damn heavy to move.
I kind of figured.
If we can get somebody to loan us a skid loader with forks.
You got to talk to Chris. He's got one.
And then
how's she going to get it out at her house?
She's going to take it over to the Myers place.
Oh, to get it out of the way. Okay.
Put it where it's someplace safe. Ain't nobody walking off with this box. That's for sure. They're not walking off with it.
And we would put it in the outbuilding, and I don't think it's a product that can be left outside, right? It's got to be protected.
I would assume.
Yeah. So we just don't have room in the outbuilding. So.
Yeah, that's Dolly. She's passed out. Her and Freya were running around like monkeys.
Look at what they were doing. She's mad. So Dolly is pouting because Freya did that.
Freya destroyed her squeaky toy. Was it Freya or was it Fancy?
It was Freya. I watched Freya with it in her mouth.
Dogs. Ugh.
Freya does stuff to upset Dolly. I don't know why she does that.
Because she's mean.
She is mean.
She's mean. Dolly does things to upset Freya too. So.
I understand why.
It's like living with two angry teenagers sometimes.
Right. But anyway, so that happened, and then, gosh, what else? I mean, it just seems like it was a relaxing weekend, really.
Except for a couple incidents. Fancy decided that she wanted to partake in the 4th of July celebration by having bean dip and chips.
Oh, gosh.
she actually got up on the table, ate packs of chips, and then ate
proceeded like, oh, the bean dip looks
half
like
half a thing
delicious.
of bean dip that was left.
Like he lets her out, and I'm looking at her. She comes in, she's got white all over her nose, and her tongue, is licking her nose, and I'm like, oh, you have food on you. And I was like, that's sour cream. And I came in here, and sure enough, all the bean dip was gone.
Well, she did something else. She's in trouble. She hasn't been off the lead since.
I'm kind of surprised you let her in the house.
It was hot. It was hot out there.
She's got a haircut to tolerate.
It's still hot. It's still hot.
Yeah.
It's still hot out there. She comes in here and she's sleeping. She's not causing any problems because she's on the chain. This, people see her on the lead in the house and they're like, "Oh, that's terrible." No, it's because if we let her off the lead, she does stuff she's not supposed to do, and we're still trying to train her. We thought we were
thought we were almost there, like we had her.
Yeah, we thought we were past all the bad stuff, but she's still doing some things that
she's obstinate.
Yeah, and Angela's right. She's lucky she's inside because I was extremely upset at her Sunday night. Extremely upset. Oh, what else went on? What else? We're only 30 minutes in, and I'm running out of things to talk about.
Well,
did you guys have a good Independence Day? Let us know what you did. Put what you did on Independence Day, so we got something to talk about.
We had all the fireworks and madness. This is the first 4th of July we hadn't had a stampede, so that was nice.
Well, it's because it was wet, and they weren't.
It also tells me, and we didn't have a stampede the next night when it was dry, so that tells me that people are hurting. They're not blowing up money the way they used to.
Oh, there wasn't a lot of fireworks. Yeah.
Right.
There was some sun. It was too wet on Saturday. I mean, it rained. Was it raining Saturday morning?
Yeah.
No, it rained a little bit.
It's through the afternoon.
But yes.
Because I was worried. I was like, am I going to be able to grill? What are we going to do?
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Even the white trash people down the road didn't shoot off fireworks very long.
Yeah. But, oh, guess what? Those puppies, Mrs. Hacks, those Great Pyrenees puppies. So, one of my coworkers' brother just adopted Great Pyrenees. He has a new puppy, and the puppies look so healthy. The one that he was holding, they look so healthy, and little chubsters. They were all blown out and clean, and they looked really, really good. Well, that one looked really good. So he has one. Because I was like, where'd you get it from? Those dogs went up to Brown County. And she goes, oh, yeah, he's just right over here. And I was like, oh, that might be one of the puppies. When did he get it? He got it on Thursday.
Yeah.
So it may be one of those puppies. Don't know for sure. But
Gregory said he was baling and doing garden work.
Mm-hmm.
What cutting are you on there, Gregory, with your baling? We're I think people are on their 3rd or 4th cutting so far this year. I mean, they got
two because the rain. I'm not sure what it looks like with hay. Alfalfa's been 2. It's the 2nd cutting right now.
Randy said his granddaughter tried to set him on fire. She did it because she loves her peepaw. So many fireworks in the neighborhood, you could taste it.
Yeah, gross.
Well, I kind of miss that being covered in soot. I've told the story. A buddy of mine used to run a fencing business that was very successful, and pre 9/11, he would spend $10,000-$15,000 on fireworks because you didn't need a Class C license to get them like you do now. And gosh, how long would it last?
An hour. Like it'd just go on forever, and you'd see them all running around the pond and hearing be down there. It was like they were fighting a war with fireworks, and everything was.
Well, no, we ran it. We had a team of people to swab the tubes, a team to load them, and a team to fire them off.
Yeah.
And the fireworks display at Louis' house was better than the small towns
right
all around us.
I miss those. You'd have a live band, and then put the big circus tent up, and then had float, kegs and
floating kegs, karaoke.
the first year we went, Ian was what, 3?
4.
And Megan was 3 or 4. And yeah, they might have been 4. And so they needed somebody to work the kegs and nobody wanted to. They all wanted to visit. So I don't know who did it, Louie or somebody got the kids involved. And so Megan and Ian were running the kegs. They did such a good job. Each one of them made $75 in tips that night.
Yep. Now, the reason why there were $75 tips, because there were 300-400 people passing through there on a regular year.
Of course, they were cute kids too, and they were our son and of course Bill's daughter, and so everybody knew if they're doing that, they're tied to Louie. Better throw some cash in that cut.
So he's on it. Gregor's on his second cutting, and he's starting on the prairie hay.
Yeah.
I'd like to rehab part of this and make it so I could cut hay on it.
I don't know. They used to cut hay here, and but I like having the fruit orchard and that kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could get the hay around it.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I'm going to end up turning all that into paddock so we can feed the animals on it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and if we're going to do that, there's going to need to cut hay anyway. Just keep doing what we're doing. So.
And we're making positive moves to downsize the flock properly. Probably we discussed it. We're going to sell some sheep, some ewes off. Oh, Lynn had another couple of commercials. Now here's the deal: if one thing about the commercials I was reading, the more interaction there is on the channel, the less commercials there are. So I'm not sure. I'm going to make sure it's turned off next time, guys. I apologize. I was looking at it because it's not turned on automatically. So I was turning it on all the videos, all the lives we've done last week because it wasn't on.
Oh, you must have hit ours.
And I think I did tonight's too when I was messing around with it. Yeah, they changed because it used to. How did it used to be? You had to manually turn it on, but it was different. It didn't play. You could do like Deep South Homestead does, go with mini builds. I was thinking about making a baler myself, and just hand scythe it down or mow it and then bale it into bales by hand. It seems like it's pretty darn easy to do. A little bit of work, but it keeps me from getting.
Just get you a good old sickle out there and build you
I've got a
mini
sickle.
baler.
Great Pyrenees are wonderful dogs. I know someone had 3. One was old. Her husband said hi, and it went to sleep.
Well, if they need another one, we have one available. Could be available.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. If you get it cut, leave it on. Okay. In that case,
I was trying to get Jordan to take her. I told him, I'm like, you need a Great Pyrenees. And he's like, I already have 2 dogs. I'm like, then what's one more? Perfect for you.
If Fancy did not run off and travel 40 acres, she'd be an outside dog. She would love being outside, but she gets too excited. One of the baby goats was out and got near, and she got way too excited, and I could tell it was going to end badly because she tried putting her mouth on it. She wasn't trying to bite it, but she was trying to put her mouth on it. And bad things happen whenever, because the little ones get in there and they start freaking out, and it just goes south really bad. But if she didn't do that, we wouldn't have a problem, and we were going to get a GPS fencing thing to put on her so we could let her off.
She did what she did.
Yeah, and I don't think I could trust her around the chickens and the baby goats now. So we're working on her.
But that'll still work for Frey and Dolly, so we're still going to get it right.
Yeah, why don't you email them back there?
Okay.
They're in the
While you're doing the second part, I'll do that. And then Then we'll get that and ask for 2 callers. Well, Gregory only had 1 ad so far. Dana, she says they're short enough you just skip them.
Yeah. Well, they go for like 6 seconds and then you skip them.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize. Oh goodness. Well, what else? It's so hot here that even though the animals were sheared, they're still out there dying from the heat. Mm-hmm. Was Fancy named after?
Probably.
No idea.
Probably knowing who I got her from. Probably.
She was a rescue dog.
Mm-hmm. So she came. Her name was Fancy, and I just call her Fancy Pants. And
she's a lover. She'll snuggle, and that's what I miss. Because Manfred was never a real big snuggler. Mm-hmm. At least with me, he wasn't. We had a Great Dane, Russell. Russell was a snuggler. Russell loved to have you lay on top of him or lay on top of you and doing that. And then we had another German Shepherd, Ashes, that was a snuggler.
That girl was amazing.
She was a snuggler.
But she was also a retired police officer, so she was an amazing dog.
Did not like black people. She was out of Washington, D.C., so.
Yeah, she was an amazing dog.
It was funny. I take that back. It wasn't that she didn't like black people, because we had a buddy. Lynn and I had a buddy we were stationed.
He was British.
He was British, but he was a brother. And the only time
he also wore the same color that you did.
Well, the first several times she saw him, he had on his uniform. So she associated uniform with me. And so she was cool with Perry. The neighbors and stuff, no,
not so much.
Not so much. She was not a big fan of it.
And it was super funny. So one night I was taking her to the bathroom, and she was going potty. I took her out, and I never had to put her on a leash because she would just stay right with me. And this guy starts walking by, and he sees her. Well, she got into this weird stance and pointed her nose a certain way. I had no idea what was going on. And the guy, as he was walking by, he goes, "Look, I know that's a cop dog." He goes, hold her back. And I was like, I guess he had drugs on him. Maybe he was doing some kind of buy or something. I have no idea. But I don't know if he was undercover or what. But he was damn determined that I held her back so that he didn't have any problems. And I was like,
okay, Randy, have a good evening.
But I at least I knew he wasn't coming after me. So
yep. She was great. Ian was her boy.
Oh, Ian was her boy. So I think Leonard probably remembers Ashes.
Yep. Leonard knew Ashes.
Yeah.
It was funny whenever we had Lexi and we moved back to Kansas City, the kids sitting in the sand pit, and the kids are sitting in a hole with their feet dangling down in it, and Ash's butt is sticking out of the hole with sand coming between her legs, like it's
making it deeper for the kids. They would put water in the hole and try to make like a lake. That was funny. So, but yeah, no, that dog loved those kids.
Okay, well, we're getting.
Yeah, I'm good with moving on. I am like yawning, and I don't know. So
wasn't a lot going on around here. I mean, just working on the house,
relaxing, and
yeah, there wasn't a whole slew of drama.
It was a nice change. It was a really nice change.
Yeah.
And so, I'm sorry, guys. I know my energy is low and all of that. It will probably be this way for at least the next 30 days. I'm fast tracking somebody, and essentially, she needs to know how to do my job and be someone as good as I am, which she has the potential to be.
Oh, nobody can replace you. Well, it'll take two people to replace you.
If you ask my boss, that's what she would say, and I shouldn't go anywhere. But no, she's happy for me. So I've got to get her trained up and make it so that she can be an asset and that kind of thing. So we're fast tracking her and doing that. my brain is dead by the end of the night. My poor supervisor, like I had a really what should have been an easy transition in paperwork and that kind of thing. My mind went completely blank because that's not where I was at. And so I was just like, I'm so sorry, but hey. And then I was like, I'm so stupid. I've been telling her to go to workflows all day. And I finally went to my own workflow before he answered me back. Like, duh. So anyway, but that's that. Ow, what was that?
The mini chainsaw.
Ow, why is that like that?
Because it got knocked over when the dogs were fighting.
It shouldn't even be there. That could have sliced me open.
I got the mini chain. I was using the mini chainsaw, and I brought it in. And
it fell over upside down, so the chain is up. And then when I went down to go get up, it's sitting right over my knee. So when I went to go help myself get up, I slid my fingers over it on accident.
Luckily, that thing's dull.
Okay. All right, guys. Be at least 10% better tomorrow than you were today. And rock on. All right, Eva. What's the name of this company?
Rock on. And who digging in the trash?
What's the name of this company?
Here.
What's the name of this company?
I don't remember.
So what am I looking for?
She said that she was watching our content and wanted us to try out their
What date did this come in?
Friday, Thursday maybe. It's still in there. Oh goodness. Yeah, we were just doing homestead updates, and Angela's done, so she turned it over to me. So here's what I want to talk about tonight. So, like I told you last week, we're trying to make these second half adjuncts to the Sunday night natural rights moral law thing, and the one I did on Sunday was the first one that I'd done that I knew what I wanted to talk about today. Even before I did that live, I knew what I wanted to talk about. But some things happened. We're still going to talk about it, kinda. But some things happened that just this week that just really, my goodness, they demonstrate exactly how immoral people that run our country are. All right, first let's talk about Mitch McConnell, because nominally he and I are on the same side politically, supposedly. The man had a heart attack. He's old. If you don't know who Mitch McConnell is, he's in the Senate, Kentucky. So he had a heart attack, and he was non-responsive, and so they took him to the hospital. And that happened. When was that? The first or second, I think it was. But anyway, his wife takes a trip to China to meet with the Chinese vice president, like 3 days after he's had a heart attack, and he's in the hospital. And there's rumors floating around that he is on life support, and they've got a machine keeping him alive because that's how damaged his heart is. And the Senate is saying that they don't have the votes to pass the Save America Act. And one of those votes is Mitch McConnell. And they're literally keeping him alive in order to influence that vote. That is sickening. And I'm not a Mitch McConnell fan, guys. I'm not a big fan of him. And I don't wish any ill will upon him, but it's sickening that his family and political handlers would do that to him. And it makes me think of how Joe Biden has trotted Joe Biden out. She after the fact, she says, "Oh, I thought he was having a stroke during the debate," and then she took him to Waffle House. And it's obvious. It's obvious. I'm just going to say it. He was incompetent, or he should not have been serving as president of the United States in the second half of his term. But they kept him around because it was politically expedient, right? And it's just disgusting how the quote unquote political elite, and I use that elite in air quotes because they're not elite at anything except for grifting the people. but the way they treat people, and then this whole thing with Graham Planter. I don't know if you know who that is. That's the guy in Maine with the Nazi tattoo, and he became a communist. And everybody goes, "Oh, how are you a Nazi and you become a communist?" Hey, they're both socialists fighting over the same turf. That's how that happens. They're not too terribly far removed from each other. And the only reason why people call Nazis right wing is because anything to the right of the communist is the far right wing, right? When you're pegged all the way at the limit of political leftism, everything's a right wing experience, right? But anyway, they trotted this guy out. They trotted him out to the people in Maine saying, "Oh, he's just like you." And the people in Maine bought into that, because I guess I don't remember when I was in Maine, but I didn't see too many Nazi tattoos, right? And then there were rumors of the guy being abusive, and Bernie Sanders stood up there multiple times, and multiple people in the Democratic Party or the Democrat Party stood next to him and said, "No, this is our guy. He's wholesome. He's reformed." And they had a very credible witness come out 2 days ago saying that he was abusive and he was not a good person. And he gets up there and denies everything, but then he turns around and he goes, "But I'm going to suspend my campaign." Okay, so why are you, if everything she says is false, why are you suspending your campaign? And then Bernie Sanders leads the charge saying, "Hey, this guy needs to drop out of the race." And it's really convenient that this stuff happens. They did that in New Jersey, where I don't remember who it was, went to prison, and they just stuck somebody on the ballot, just ignored the rules and put them on the ballot. The Harris campaign, they kept Biden in there until it got to the point where they could just put Kamala Harris in as the presidential candidate last time around. And for the record, I've had just as many delegates for president as Kamala Harris has. Period. In the primaries, I've had as many primary delegates for president as Kamala Harris has. It tells you how many she's had. But they just put her in, and they're going to do the same thing with Graham Planter. They're going to bump him out of the race, and the voters' primary, or the primary voters' ballots that were cast mean absolutely nothing now. They're going to stick in whoever they want. And I think I'm going to be honest with you, they're getting away with it more and more often. And I think you're going to see it happening across the country. They're going to stick somebody in. They're going to put somebody that's extremely left wing in, right up until the point that something happens that they need to withdraw, and then they're just going to put somebody else in their place instead of like having real primaries. And we saw it when Clinton was running for president with the superdelegate system. They did the same thing to Bernie Sanders, and which I want to say it blows my mind that Bernie Sanders supports the Democrat Party as much as he does. He's an independent, but he votes with them 100%. And I want to say it blows my mind, but it doesn't, because I know if I was in politics and I had done absolutely nothing of any worth in my life, and I still had 3 mansions, beachfront property, and was a multimillionaire, even after being so bad that you got kicked out of a commune and never having a private sector job, and I was a multimillionaire, I would probably side with the people that allowed that to happen too. Now, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that type of person, but I'm just saying, I understand why he is the way he is with the Democrat Party. But anyway, so now I know you're thinking to yourself, how does this tie in with the idea that the government authority from last week? Well, it ties in because it's dealing with integrity and conscience and just basically being an upright citizen. The political elite in this country, they're not upright citizens by and large. I mean, there might be a couple that are untainted. Yeah, the DSA is wearing the Democrat Party like a skin suit. They're open about it. Oh yeah, and I find it very funny. Hakeem Jeffries had a meeting with them, and the still that I saw looked like he was about to be cannibalized. They were going to eat him. That's the look on his face. The Kid's Guide to American Greatness. What is this? So Angela just got the Kid's Guide to American Greatness in the mail. Let's see what this is. Okay, I'm going to have to go through that and make sure it's not a Howard Zinn publication. What's some of you people may have grown up with the Howard Zinn textbooks. What was it? Somebody help me out here. I want to say the People's Guide to the United States or something like that, but it was an extremely progressive look at American history, and it was in something like 90% of the school districts in the nation. But it was bad. It was bad. There's a precursor to everything that's going on now, and people still quote him as being a great scholar on American history. Blows my mind. So anyway, and I kind of wanted to step slightly away from the topic from last week and just have a conversation, because I said it before, but I'm really having a hard time processing some of the stuff that I'm telling you guys, because it runs completely contrary to what I thought in the past. And I know the way I thought in the past was not the best way to approach things. I realized it was reactionary. I realized it was going off half-cocked, if you will. And so I'm trying to mature my thinking, and it's causing a lot of questions that I don't have answers to. So if you guys chime in here at any time, okay? Chime in here at any time. So let's go some of the foundational things that we've talked about in the series, the natural rights series so far. The human dignity is inherent due to God. Now, you don't have to be a Christian to believe this, but to believe the biblical foundation, but the moral foundation behind all these things is 100% true, whether you believe in God or not. Governments don't create rights. Governments exist to protect rights. Government possesses delegated authority, meaning that it's not unlimited. It's delegated and regulated to just a certain section, and then liberty only survives when the government and the citizens submit themselves to a objective moral standard. So, and the questions I'm having problems with, how do you react? How do you react whenever the government slowly erodes our liberties, like we're seeing happen now? I mean, let's be completely honest. Our forefathers went to war over way less than what we're subjected to on a daily basis. Just historically, that's a true fact. This erosion of liberty has taken over 100 years. It's accelerated of late, and we're just seeing it. And it was the slow boiling frog type of thing. And we compromise on one thing, and then a precedent set, and then a restriction comes, and then we compromise on something else, and it just, it's just been a slow burn to where we are now. And the question I used to ask myself is when is enough enough? When do we invoke the Second Amendment? Is what I used to think. Right? When do we say enough is enough and we take up arms and we do this? And I've come to realize that that's the wrong way to look at it. You cannot ask that question. If you're asking that question, you're already starting off from a bad place. And I've come to realize that the question that I need to ask and that we all should be asking is, what's my responsibility? Probably even more so is when is doing nothing, or when does doing nothing become a moral decision? What is it? Even if you choose not to decide, you still made a choice. The Rush lyrics. At some point, by us letting this erosion happen, we are morally culpable, right? Just plain and simple. So like I said, the enough is enough is the wrong question. And the reason why, this is the reason why what I'm saying is true. That when is enough enough is an umbrella over everything I just said. Enough is a subjective thing, because my enough may be different than yours. Paul Robinson may have a different enough than Len Huffman, who may have a different enough from Gregory Kissel or Dana. So it's a subjective thing, and when you ask that question, it becomes an emotional answer. It's not a thinking answer. It's an emotional answer, or a logical answer becomes an emotional answer. An answer based in wisdom, if you will, comes at it really slow. You look at it really slow instead of that really quick emotional knee-jerk reaction. Voting is very important. It still does not feel like it's enough. Well, again, I'm going to go back. I've said it before. I don't think there's a political answer here. We cannot vote our way out of the situation that we're in, right? And so, if that's true, then what is the way out? So instead of asking all those questions, I said, what's my responsibility, or what is the upright thing to do? When we're looking at this, what should I do that's morally right in this? And it comes down to integrity, having moral integrity, and exercising that moral agency that we have. And as a Christian, I believe that I ultimately answer to God's moral law. Plain and simple. I think, but someone who isn't a Christian may look at it differently. But I think that we can all agree that the answers are the same. It is what's the right thing to do. If we can agree on what the right thing to do is, then we can move forward. And instead of saying, what do I want? It's one thing that I've always struggled with since I became a Christian is when does my will start conflicting with God's will? What is, and that was one of those things when I got my conceal and carry. One of the things that when I was in the Marine Corps, I spent 2 years on security forces. Up until that time, anytime I'd been to the rifle range was shooting at paper targets. That's what I was shooting. That's what I looked at when I was shooting. That's what I saw. When I was on security forces, it was driven home that as I was practicing, I was not practicing to shoot a paper target. I was practicing to shoot a human being. And when I got my conceal and carry, and I decided that I was going to start carrying it out in public, one of the things I wanted to be 100% sure on was if I pulled that pistol and I pulled the trigger, that it was not my will that made that happen. I wanted God to guide my choices and my decisions there, because I know I'm a flawed human being. I know that I'm emotional. I know that I can make bad decisions in this split second moment. And I seriously, guys, I don't think that I could have handled shooting somebody and knowing that I did it under the wrong circumstances. That would seriously tear me apart. Right? I wanted to make sure that I was morally 100% right in my decision. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what can I get away with. Was I morally justified? No, you can. Again, the Dana, the change starts on the grass underneath your feet and the space between your ears, right? And you start talking to somebody. The principle that's begun to form on this whole thing, where I've landed. Oh, hang on. Let's see what Lynn has to say. What do you want and who are you are the two big questions. TV series Babylon 5 was based around two sides asking those questions. Yep, you know what? I can agree with that. I think, yeah, I remember that from Babylon 5. But the principle that's kind of forming here is the right to resist is proportional to the burden of moral justification. Right? I have to be morally justified in my resistance. Our rights. One thing I've learned from this thing so far is our rights don't remove our responsibility. All right. In fact, they increase our responsibility. That's one of the reasons I'm so in awe of the founding fathers and the people that waged the American Revolution. Because Stanley and Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility, and the greater the consequences, the greater the burden to know why we're acting becomes. I got a cat here. Say hi here. Just get up here. You can be a star for a couple seconds. There you go. Say hi to everybody. Okay, get out. Nobody likes you. Intrusive thing. But let's go through as I was trying to work through this. It became apparent as the seriousness of action increases, so does the moral responsibility. So I kind of came up with this. Well, I didn't come up with this. I actually saw this someplace else, and I stole it. All right, I'm not going to lie. So here's a escalation ladder. Okay, so first we hold an opinion. Right, that's what Dana that's what Dana was talking about. That one voice, and then we vote. So there's a little bit more moral responsibility in voting than having an opinion, because your opinion can be completely off base, but if you're voting, you should at least be knowledgeable about the issues and the candidates. And then from voting, voting's a private thing. You start speaking publicly. Then you start bearing the burden of am I misleading people? Am I telling people something that's wrong morally? And then from public speaking, we moved to peaceful protest. We exercised a little bit of a protest movement here in the county when it came to the various issues that the county commissioners have been trying to push through, right? But we were peaceful about it. But we had a responsibility. I mean, we couldn't just go in there. We couldn't just in there and go, no. We had to know why we were saying no. And then from there, civil disobedience. There's a huge moral responsibility there. And part of that responsibility is dealing with the consequences. And You know, in a just system, you don't get shot for civil disobedience. You don't go to prison for civil disobedience. You know, you don't end up in prison simply for being in Washington D.C. on January 6th, right? You don't end up in prison because the security guards, the Capitol Police, let you into the building and let you go on a tour. Yeah, she wants more than a pet. She wants to get up in my face. You know, and then finally, you know, from civil disobedience, the last step is actions involving force. You know, the Second Amendment, self-defense, things like that. There's a huge moral responsibility there. So it's one of the problems I've got with the quote unquote patriot movement, or the gun guy sphere, or the gunosphere. You know, these people get online and they say things that they seem unhinged. Let's be honest with you. You know, and nominally I'm on the same side as these people, but they say things that are completely unhinged, and they talk about doing things that make very little sense from a morally justifiable angle. You know, so I just, this is one of the reasons why I talk about the stuff I talk about, and I'm trying to share my what I'm finding out about these things with people, so that people can make good morally justifiable decisions. You know, and some of the things that I've learned through this series that we've been doing, you know, as far as relationship with the government. You know, Daniel, he served faithfully, and he only resisted whenever his integrity required it. You know, and David had many opportunities, but he did not usurp Saul, because the opportunity did not equal moral authority to do so. Right? And the apostles, you know, they were told to stop preaching, and they said, no, we can't. You know, they again, when the obedience to the government required disobedience to God. You know, that's the common thread there through those three things is not the rebellion involved. It's the restraint they showed before they rebelled. You know, none of them were looking for conflict, and as patriots, we shouldn't be looking for conflict either. Now, with that said, and I've said this time and time again, guys, even if you don't want to fight, if the other side wants to fight, you're going to fight. All right? That's just a plain and simple thing. If the other side has dehumanized you to the point where they feel that they are justified in doing anything they want to you, up into murder, it's going to happen. And so you need to be ready for it. Yeah, clickbait. Formerly sane people now say crazy stuff. Tucker, Candace, Megan, they used to be saying, yeah. Tucker's the one that's the big disappointment to me, because he's full on Islamist apologist right now. He's in Qatar's pocket. Qatar is one of the most radical Gulf states. Oh, yes. Why? Ratings or something else? It's money. I think a lot of it's money. I think there's a little bit of, how do I put this? It's easy to take the anti-Semitic road. Let's just put it that way. It really is. There's a lot of stuff that you have to think there, and it's just easier to take the blanket stance than looking at the nuanced stuff. You know, so here's the questions I'm learning to ask. Okay, instead of saying when is enough, you know, I need to ask myself, and you should be asking yourselves this too. Am I first off, are we looking at a genuine injustice, or are we simply reacting to something that we dislike? That's a personal question. That again, that's for everybody's moral baseline is going to be different. One of the reasons why I'm doing this series is because I'd like everybody to get at least a baseline on morals and ethics that's in the same ballpark. But we don't get angry. Well, no, that's not, anger is not the right word. We don't speak about rebellion and violent resistance if it's just something that we don't like. Now, there are tons of injustices that we could be very upset about, and we should be upset about. So after that, the next question is, have I exhausted the peaceful and lawful means of resistance? This is one of the things I was working on the rogue revolutionary, or rebel rogue, or rogue. Anyway, I was working on that concept, and this is something I kept getting hung up on. Because if you resort to violence, then that means that you abdicate every other answer out there. They've all failed. So turning to violence means that the process has failed. Next thing is, what's my motivation? Is my motivation justice, or am I just frustrated? And a lot of it, if you ever ask yourself that question, or you ask somebody else that question, and they go, I feel, yeah, it's frustration. If they can't articulate in a logical manner what their motivation is, then it's just pure frustration. And this is the big one. This next one's a huge one, and we need to think about this every time we do something. We ask ourselves, will this action preserve liberty, or will it damage it? Right now, armed rebellion by a dedicated handful of people probably do more to harm the conservative and patriot movement than help it. Everybody says the 3% during the American Revolution. Well, that's the 3% that actively took part. 50% of the country was behind them, though. 50% of the country supported that armed rebellion in one form or another, either through logistics, material help, financial help, or through moral support. And then finally, and this is a big one, am I acting from a place of integrity, or am I just acting on impulse? I'm not going to lie, I act on impulse a lot, and it's something I have to work with. I have to work on. And as a Christian, I'm finding myself more and more often, can I defend my thoughts and my ideas and my actions in front of God? Plain and simple. Here, in my county, we are having meetings with zoning board concerning data centers. I think their mind is set on letting them in, but not the mega ones. Yeah, we've had the solar farm thing. They said, oh, we're not going to do it, but they're still having a behind closed door talks with the solar company. So again, these people, the integrity of our county commissioners is very lacking, in my opinion. They are not very trustworthy, in my opinion. And if you don't share my belief in God, that's fine. But you should at the very least ask whether you could defend your decisions in front of the highest moral standard that you recognize. Seriously, could you do that? And here's the problem. Here's the problem with being your own moral judge and setting your own moral baseline, and not relying on something higher, because you will always be able to move it, so you never cross it. You know what? And so you're always able to do what you want. But if you've got to set baseline, once you cross it, there's no going back. And I, guys, listen, I don't have the answers here. And the more I study it, the more convoluted it all becomes in my head, because drives a wedge between my illogical self and my logical self. And I honestly, I don't want to be driven by anger. I don't want to be driven by fear. I don't want to be driven by politics. It's one of the reasons why I'm stepping away. I've stepped away like I have. And I don't want to be driven by outrage. In outrage, we get outrage every single day. I want my integrity and my wisdom and moral courage to be what drives my decisions. In the vein of the upright citizen, the greatest test is not courage, it's judgment. Because from proper judgment, the courage flows. Right? The knowing how to judge things and deciding what proper justice is gives you moral courage. And you're not asking, can I act? You're asking, is this the upright thing to do? Have I met the burden of moral justification? If you can answer that honestly, then whatever conclusion we reach will be far more likely to preserve our own integrity and not damage liberty in the process. Sounds like the Force avoid the dark side. Well, maybe that is. Maybe that's true. And like I said, as a Christian, I believe the ultimate answer to these questions is found in God's moral law, plain and simple. And I realize not everyone listening shares that same belief. The whether your standard is the scripture or natural law, conscience, or some other objective moral framework, the principle still holds. Right? The greater the action that you contemplate, the greater the burden to justify it. And that's one of the reasons why I believe the principles in the Bible are so good, because that is a principle in the Bible, but that is not a Christian principle. That is a principle of morally just people. All right? So it doesn't matter if you're Christian or a Buddhist or Hindu. If that principle holds true no matter who you are, just plain and simple. All right, guys, listen, that's about it. I hope I didn't drive some people off. I hope I gave you some things to think about. Remember, the greater the action, the greater the justification you need, plain and simple. And I tell you what, you can justify though. You can justify going down to the link below and clicking on the book, the link for my book, City Survival 101, the Full Spectrum Urban Preparedness Guide, and go in and check it out. If you haven't done it already, shame on you. If you're new here and it's the first time you're hearing about it, not shame on you. Go check it out. You can read the first 2 chapters. If you live in a urban environment, it'll help you become more prepared. It's not a doom porn. It's not apocalypse, dystopian fiction. It's something to help you make your life more flexible and be able to take on whatever life throws at you, whether it's a small thing, big thing, whatever. It'll help you build margin in your life. All right? Let's see here. Gregory says, you vote for these people and then they go off in some direction we don't want. No responsibility. Yeah, because the people don't hold them responsible. That if your elected officials that are in your locale do something you don't like, when you see them at Walmart or at the grocery store, you should say something to them. You should make them extremely uncomfortable. You should let them know exactly what you think about them. And, thank God we still live in a country where we can do that. In Britain, you can get charged with assault if you make somebody feel uncomfortable. Seriously, there is an actual law there, and it's a very subjective law, and it is not applied equally. I've got this straight from people that live in Great Britain. All right. So anyway, go do that. Help the channel. Go check out, if you if you made it this far and this is the first time you watch this, think about subscribing. You know what, guys? Go out and live a life done free. Okay, take care.
I hope I'm wrong, but I'm still ready. Most people think preparedness is about fear. It's not. It's about responsibility. The lights are still on, stores are still open, the systems still work, just not the way they used to. And most people don't notice the pressure until it reaches their front door. City Survival 101, the full spectrum urban preparedness guide, isn't about panic. It's about understanding how modern systems really work and how to keep your household operating when they don't. Real-world preparedness for real-world people. No fantasy, no fear porn, just practical systems that buy you time, options, and control. Available now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover.